Hi guys, good morning. This is again Yoshi Arola, your VA coach as well as your digital marketer, and welcome back to my channel. So it's been so long. Nagkaroon po ako ng full month rest dahil sa Pasko and sa New Year. And I'm very well rested na. So that's what I can say. Pero thank you pa rin po sa mga nagme-message po sa akin, sa mga nanonood po ng videos ko, as well as sa mga nagko-comments. Really, really appreciate that. So right now, we're back to regular programming. We'll be discussing everything and anything Google Ads or digital marketing. So I have received a few comments sa previous videos ko. Some of them is asking kung saan ako nag-aral ng Google Ads. Nag-aral po ako under Coach Ian Bailio. You can find him sa Facebook, Ian Bailio, or that's Pinoy Guild Mastermind. Also, may mga nagko-comment din po dito. And ang pinaka nag-ano po sa tumatak is sabi ni Amy-VAs, Shierola, what is the next thing to do if ever client reach out like OLJ? So this might be because of the video I did about the agencies you can go to para ka makapag-apply ka po. So Amy, I'm happy if in case you've receive a message from a client, potential client about the services. I'm happy and I hope you can close that. Pero guys, topic natin ngayon is about how you can land that client. And ano nga ba ang gagawin mo kapag nagkaroon ka na ng sagot sa mga reach out mo or outreach mo about possible working with them? So the first thing that you have to do guys is i-check nyo ano ba yung type of niche ni client, ano ba yung services na pinoprovide niya, do a research on his business, his or her business, sa niche na yon, yung mga competitors, specific location niya. Check nyo din if may existing siyang Google Ads, adstransparency.com para mas makita nyo na rin kung paano siya mag-create ng kanilang current ads. Kasi from there, you would be able to have a idea if, for example, there's something na you need to do or need to fix first. Kasi guys, kapag nag-reach out sila, they would normally ask you questions ng result. Hindi nila tatanungin yung process mo. Ang tatanungin nila is, how will you get me to this specific numbers or to this specific result? So as a Google Ads specialist, it is always good to explain the process, but make sure na you are able to answer ano ba talaga yung gusto nilang result kapag ikaw yung kinuha. Kasi most of the time, business owners don't care about the process. They just care about the end result. And alam ko yun. Kasi I have clients who would always ask me, alin dito or ilang leads meron ako this week. Kahit sabihin ko na I work my ass off ng 8-9 hours, etc. Kung walang leads, then I have nothing to prove. So always, always go for ano ba yung gusto nila. And today, we will be discussing the top 10 questions na tinatanong ni business owner or at least ng yung interviewer kapag nag apply ka as a Google Ads specialist. And guys, this is based from my experience kasi madami-dami na rin akong na saliyang interview. At the same time, I did a deep research using my ChatGPT Pro about the top 10 FAQs for Google Ads interview using all the sources na pwede niyang ma-research online. And guys, that's one of the things na you also have to do. Aside from checking the client's business, for example, always do research on the questions that they might ask you with the help of the AI para naman ready ka during the interview. So ano nga ba yung pinakaunang question? So that's the million-dollar question. So of course, during the interview, they would always ask you this first question. Tell me about your experience with Google Ads. Ano nga ba ang dapat mong sabihin kapag tinanong ka ng tell me about your experience with Google Ads? So guys, unang-una, ito yung mga don'ts. Okay? Ito yung mga wag mong gagawin. Huwag kang magbibigay ng generic na answer na for example, I've run an ads for a few companies kasi hindi naman nila hinihingi kung ilan yung na-run mo ng ads. Huwag kang magbabanggit ng mga tools, especially marketing tools na hindi related sa Google Ads. Bakit? Kasi it may sound like a lot of jargons, especially kung yung nag-interview sa'yo ay hindi naman talaga magaling sa Google Ads. And I had this experience kasi I did some interviews as well. Ang hirap kapag nagbigay ka ng jargons kasi hindi nila nagigets. Okay? Third is, don't exaggerate. Kung hindi mo naman siya ginawa, then wag mong sabihin. Kasi guys, yung mga interviewer, they can really tell. And I had this experience, nag-hire kami ng ng GHL specialist. Nagtanong ako sa kanya about attribution and ang ending sa interviewee, ang dami niyang sinabi, sinabing tools, sinabing jargons, and ang haba niya mag-explain. Kung hindi lang talaga rude mag-interrupt, sabihan ko talaga siya na you did not answer my question correctly. So guys, interviewers can tell. So wag kayo mag-exaggerate. Pero ano nga ba yung mga ganda mong sabihin? Unang-una, since about experience siya, then talk about the budget range, yung specific skills, for example, smart bidding, kung anong types of campaign, pero do not expound too much, just enough for them to see na meron kang experience when it comes to different campaigns. Pangalawa is yung measurable outcome. And ito talaga ang pinaka the best na gusto marinig ng mga business owner. Bakit? Again, they are hiring you to get the actual result, not the process. So tell them about the measurable outcome. Ano ba yung ROAS mo? Ano ba yung ROAS nung ginawa mo yung specific campaign na to, sa specific dates na to? Ano yung spend mo, etc. Then, you can be a bit technical and strategic, pero technical na hindi nakakalunod. Okay? For example, if it's me, this is what I would say. And niready ko talaga siya guys sa inyo. So, this is what I would say. I manage accounts across different niches, especially your niche, e-commerce, and also some local lead generation for local services like painting and roofing, with budgets ranging from 5,000 to $20,000 per month. So I specialize in account restructuring, smart bidding optimization, and scaling to make sure that we meet the specific ROAS or specific goal that you set for the campaign. My focus is technically on tightening budget, make sure that we don't have wasted spend, we have the correct audience targeting, and our conversions are properly connected and driving measurable ROI. So guys, yun yung ginagawa ko normally. Okay? Binabanggit ko yung mga nagawa ko na. If I had a business client before na I had an e-commerce client na nagkaroon ako ng ROAS sa kanya na umabot ng 45 ROAS because nagkaroon kami ng sale, and syempre yung ad messaging ko was basically part of it. I mentioned it. So my previous client was in this specific niche, and from January 1 to January 31st, 2025, we had a total spend of 50,000. However, we were able to get more than 800,000 revenue and a 45x ROAS. The kind of example, especially if meron kang mga ganon, banggitin mo yun sa experience mo. Pero again, do not expound too much kasi they might think na nag-exaggerate ka. So just basically make it very simple. May term dyan yung KISS. Keep it safe and sweet. I'm not sure what KISS meant. So that's the first question. The second question that they normally would ask you is, how do you structure a high-performing Google Ads campaign? Guys, nagtatanong sila ng structure ng high-performing kasi they wanted to actually ask you, ano ba yung experience mo before na may pinamalaking naging ROI and how you did in structuring it. Parang paano mo siya ginawa, how you created it, how you optimize it, etc. So dito sa bandang to, they're normally asking for the steps. Okay? Meaning guys, kailangan nyo tong malaman kasi they will normally ask you, paano ka ba gumagawa ng campaign? Hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin, nagpupunta ka lang ng Google, nag-create ka ng create new campaign, etc. So they really require steps. Ano ba yung mga don'ts na dapat mong ingatan na wag sabihin? Ang pinakauna guys is do not rely on Google's auto-generated keywords or ads. Si AI, ngayong 2026, meron tayong mga AI na lang. I know na we're in an era where have to use AI, pero you always have to make sure na you still have the control. So, wag ka mag-rely masyado sa mga auto-generated na keywords and ad copies ni Google. That's the very first don't. Second, do not combine unrelated keywords in the same ad group. Kasi guys, pag magkakasama yung mga unrelated keywords, dun pa lang, you're not gonna get a scaling campaign kasi magkakaiba sila ng intent. So, yun yung kailangan yung, or yun yung mga bagay na wag yung gagawin. And pwede mong sabihin sa kanila syempre na I don't do this, so for me to structure a high-performing campaign, ito yung mga iniiwasan ko kamo. Then, go for ano ba yung mga ginagawa mo actually. So, first, emphasize tight keyword grouping. Remember, sa Google Ads, high-intent user yung mga nagsisearch ng services ni client online. However, you still have to make sure na your keywords ay tightly grouped para iisa talaga sila. Meron silang tinatawag na single-themed keywords. So parang nakagroup sila. Kung painting lang siya, painting lang siya. Kung kitchen renovation siya, dapat dun siya. Para makita mo kung ano yung ad group na talagang nag-generate ng actual conversion and you can focus on that. Second is, highlight mo yung intent-based segmentation. So, bakit ba nag-perform yung Google Ads campaign mo? Kasi meron kang tinatawag na intent-based segmentation, meaning yung intention, yung user behavior. So, kung yung mga tao na bumibili is pumunta lang dito, mga cold lead sila, dapat dun lang sila. So, parang naka-segment siya, guys. And you can find it sa Google Ads. Meron tayong audience segmentation doon. Para siyang mga like in-market, out-of-market, mga audience segmentation. So, if you're able to do that, the intent-based segmentation, then matatarget ng ads mo mismo yung may mga intention lang na bumili or mag-avail ng services. Then third is, you can mention to them na you're calling out landing page alignment. Remember, may quality score yung ads. So kung pag gumawa ka ng ads, yung ad messaging mo, yung headlines mo, dapat matching siya sa landing page or yung sa website kung saan babagsak si client kapag clinic niya po yung ads. So, I always say it to my interviewers na for me to structure a high-performing Google Ads, I call out landing page alignment if in case they wanted me to sell this, they wanted me to put this in this specific ad, but their website is not mentioning the same thing. Kasi doon pa lang magkakaroon na kayo ng mismatch. Then, paano malalaman or ano mararamdaman ng nag-interview sa'yo pag sinabi mo yon? That means you are the expert. Kasi as the expert, you are supposed to tell your clients what you need so that you can reach the specific goal. Kasi kung ikaw lang yung ad specialist nila na gawin mo to, Shiel, ito yung gusto ko, ito yung gusto ko makita sa ads, wag mong gamitin to, etc. Then ikaw lang is, okay po, okay po, okay po. So, sino ba yung specialist? Sila ba o ikaw? Ikaw. So, it's okay to say okay sa kanila, pero always explain, this is what I wanted to do, etc. And I have colleagues and classmates na lagi tong pinag-uusapan sa aming GC, yung part na ang minsan yung mga client ayaw makinig. That's fine. Kapag ayaw na lang makinig, always make sure na you send an email about your proposal, about what they instructed you to do para everything is documented. As long as you proposed, tapos hindi nila tinanggap, you explain para hindi pa rin nila tinanggap, then that's not gonna be on you. at least everything is documented. Okay? So third question is, how do you determine a bidding strategy? Ito na, isa to sa mga importante. So sa bidding strategy guys, syempre, pag may mga ano kasi may different kinds of bidding strategy. Meron tayong target CPA, meron tayong smart bidding, manual CPC, etc. So paano ba determine yung bidding strategy? Okay. Ito yung mga wag mong gagawin. Okay? Don't say I always use target CPA, okay? Or I switch strategies frequently, or pinipili ko po kasi smart bidding kasi yun ang gusto ni Google. Huwag mong sasabihin yun, guys. Okay? Kasi pag sinabi mo yon, that only means na hindi mo alam yung ginagawa mo. So what do you need to do? You have to match your bidding strategy sa funnel stage or sa volume ng data na meron si campaign. So for example, kapag new account yan, bagong campaign, bagong account, then you don't do target CPA right away. You may have to start with manual CPC or max clicks para magkaroon ka ng data, magkaroon ka ng conversion. So if you say e-commerce kasi gusto agad nila benta, so I put target CPA, then wala ka pa namang data, guys. So always start with manual CPC or max clicks kapag new account. Ngayon, kapag mid-stage na si account, for example, meron na siyang data, 30 conversions or more, then you can do max conversion or you can do target CPA already. Kasi meron ka ng data. So again guys, match the bidding strategy based sa funnel and sa volume ng data na meron si client and meron si account. And mag-bring ka ng real strategies on how you do it. So, sabihin mo sa kanya, when I started with this company, they actually don't have any conversions yet kasi mali-mali yung keywords. So, what I did is, I started a new campaign. I started with max clicks. So, when we had enough clicks and conversion, saka ko siya ginawa ganun. So, bigay mo siya ng example. In this way, they will see na expert ka talaga and meron ka talagang process when it comes to doing ads. Fourth question, walk me through how you optimize a campaign. Okay? Pag hiningan ka nila ng walkthrough, hindi po yan ang hihingi ng Loom video. Ang hinihingi po nila is a clear, repeatable framework. Doon po tayo mag-focus sa repeatable framework. Meaning, meron kang step-by-step na ginagawa para makuha mo yung specific result na you want, and pwede siyang ulitin ng kahit sino sa company when it comes to doing this type of ads. So for example, kung ako, ang ginagawa ko po kasi is whenever there's a new client, I always start with search terms. Okay? I do research on the search terms. Okay? In-identify ko yung mga keywords na will convert. Then once I have the information, I basically create the ad copy. Once I have the ad copy, I go to ano ba yung bidding strategy ko for this ad copy. Once I have the bidding strategy selected, I go for ano ba yung landing page na gagamitin namin with this copy. Is it the same keywords with my ad copy? May mismatch pa? Tapos, chinecheck ko yung quality score. Okay? Pag nakita ko yung quality score, pag mataas siya, then okay, that's fine with me. Kasi again, bakit quality score? Kasi nga, na-check mo na yung ad copy mo and landing page mo, then this means they're matching. Your quality score should be okay and should have proper clicks. Then, tracking. Okay? Para sa conversion. So, ilan yon? I have search terms, ad copy, bids, landing page, quality score, then tracking. So I have 6 steps in my framework. So you can do your own framework. Mas gusto mo ba before search term, do you do competitor research, etc. Ang importante is you can walk them through. Ito po yung ginagawa ko for me to be able to create a high-performing ad campaign. Okay? Okay? So, don't say, I just increase the budget when I see that there's a lot conversion, or I don't really do conversion tracking kasi hindi po talaga ako masyadong familiar doon. So, I normally ask someone to do that for me. Doon pa lang, so paano nila ma-check kung nagko-convert kung hindi mo kayang i-check? So, don't say those. So, or the fifth question, what are the main components of quality score? So, kakabanggit lang natin. Quality score. Normally, this question will be asked by the interviewer, kung meron silang alam. This normally happens kapag client interview ka na. Kasi normally, meron mga HR yan. Pero pag client interview na, they will normally ask you about what are the main components of quality score. So, dapat marunong ka ha, alam mo dapat kung paano chine-check yung quality score. Paano ba chine-check yung quality score? Ano ba yung mga components niya? When we say components, ano yung magkakos para tumaas yung quality score mo? The first is expected CTR or click-through rate. So, ano ba yung expected click-through rate mo when it comes to your ad copy? Okay. The second component is ad relevance. When we say ad relevance, yung ads mo ba, yung ad copy mo ba, relevant siya dun sa mga headlines mo, dun sa ino-offer mo, and dun sa landing page. The third is landing page experience. When we say experiences, kapag pumunta ba ako sa google.com, let's say ang business mo ay google.com, mabilis pa siya. Mabilis ba yung pag-refresh niya? Pag nagpindot ba ako, mabilis or naglalag siya? Kasi kapag naglalag siya, for example, ibig sabihin may issue sa loading speed, may issue sa kapag let's say view mo siya sa mobile, hindi siya ma-view. Those kind of stuff has to be reported to your web developer para ma-fix nila yon. Kasi a page should be able to load within the next 1 to 2 seconds kapag binuksan mo para mabilis yung user experience. So, yun yung quality score. Doon po yun sine-check. And si Google may tinatawag po yun na bot crawlers. So, kapag gumawa ka ng ad copy, ang sine-check niya po is yung CTR, possible CTR nito, yung mga headlines mo, meron kang 15 headlines, meron kang descriptions, pasok ba yung mga descriptions na yon sa ad relevant ba sila doon sa website na meron ka? Nandun ba yon? So pag sinabi mong free estimate, nandun ba yun sa website mo? Pag sinabi mong the best and number one plumber in Mandaluyong, nandun ba yun sa website mo? Kapag nandun yun, so yung ad relevance niya is nandun. So that's good na. Ngayon, ang check mo na lang is yung website experience, yung landing page experience. And this is very important kasi sasabihin natin, pag Google Ads kasi kami, gumagawa lang kami ng ads, hindi dapat kami nagki-care ng website. No. You don't take care of the website, yes, pero it's your responsibility to report kung may issue yan. And the previous videos that I made, meron akong pinakita doon. You can go to pagespeedsinsight.com. Makikita nyo po doon kung ano yung speed ng website ninyo, kung may problema po siya kapag ina-access siya via mobile, or kung may issue siya kapag ina-access siya via computer. So from there, you can make proper reports na ang pangit po ng ganito, yung CTA po natin hindi po siya lumalabas sa side. Hindi po nagpa-pop up yung part na 20% off na ino-offer natin, mga etc. So yun po yung mga components ng quality score. Again, components are expected CTR, ad relevance, and landing page experience. Explain mo sa nag-interview sa'yo why these three matters. Again, guys, 5 pa lang yung question natin. You don't have to explain everything ng bonggam-bongga. The only thing that they needed to hear is expert ka when it comes to these questions. So, sixth question. Yung sixth question natin is, how do you scale a well-performing campaign? So almost the same question sa na number 2 natin na how do you structure a high-performing Google Ads campaign? So again guys, yung number 2 question is how do you structure? Paano ka gumagawa? Yung number 6 question natin is how do you scale? Kasi kung performing na yung campaign mo, mataas na yung ROAS mo, how do you scale that? Paano mo siya papataasin pa? Okay. So, there are three things na you have to make sure you don't say. Don't say you scale as soon as possible. Okay? Don't say na you make multiple changes every day. And don't mention na you don't check the impressions share and budget share ni Google Ads. Bakit po? Kapag nagsiscale po kasi tayo, if the ads is doing very well, then you have to scale 10 to 20% lang of the budget slowly. When we say, kung ang budget mo per day is let's say $100 and mataas siya, you don't make it $200 right away. You make it 120. Okay. Bakit? Para po hindi maputol yung learning. Kasi po, the moment na nag-change ka po na mataas, dinoble mo agad, there is a possibility na violation ka kasi baka mamaya isipin nila is unauthorized ad changes ito or for example, baka na-hack ka or something. Okay? So again, when it comes to budget, scale it or increase it 10 to 20% slowly. Ang ginagawa ko po dyan is I change it ng 20% 7 days. Then after 7 days, if okay na ulit siya, if walang changes, if mataas pa rin siya, hindi na apektuhan, then I add more. Siyempre, make sure na meron kayong, nandun pa rin kayo sa budget and kailangan approve ni client yung budget. Second way to scale a well-performing campaign is add new geo-targeting, keywords, and landing page. Kung may mga sa search term kayo, kung may nakikita kayo doon na, ang daming naghahanap ng keyword na to. And yung keyword na yun is wala pa siya sa keyword mo kasi nasa search terms lang. And napansin mo na madami yung impression and madami din yung clicks. Kasi per keyword, guys, you can see the impression kung ilan yung nakakakita ng keyword na yun at ilan yung nagkiklik. Kung mataas yung click-through rate niya, tapos tingnan niyo yung conversion, if may nagko-convert at mataas din, then you wanna add that on your campaign. Okay? Hindi po guys, pag pumunta kayo sa search term, nakita, uy, may nag-search ng tatlo, add ko nga to. No, you don't add keywords ng ganun lang. That's the reason why, again, yung sa, sa structure mo or sa framework mo, you start with search terms first. Kasi nga, guys, yun yung inaral mo. Okay? You don't just add new keywords just because a new keyword pop up na parang, ay, maganda. No. Make sure na you check the impression, you check the CTR, and you check if there's conversion happening with that keyword. Kasi kung may conversion, then you might be missing out kung hindi mo siya in-add. So, add mo siya. Then, another option or another way to scale your campaign is mag-test ka ng broad match and smart bidding. For example, another ad group with a different bidding strategy just to check if it will work. So again, guys, do not just change anything on a performing campaign kasi baka mamaya pera na naging bato pa. Okay? So seventh question, ano ba yung pampitong question natin? What's your approach to ad copywriting? So guys, bread and butter ng Google Ads is copywriting. Bakit? Yun yung ginagawa natin. Yung mga ad copies natin, that's called copywriting and bread and butter na. So pag tinanong ko, ano yung approach mo? So ad copywriting. Okay. Meron tayo, pwede kayong guys mag-search ng courses about copywriting, yung psychology ng copywriting para alam nyo kung paano magsulat ng proper copywriting. Pero, as a copywriter and as a Google Ads specialist, dapat yung ad copies mo, they don't just focus on features, they don't just write generic headlines, mga ganon. Kasi, sabihin mo, okay, meron siyang painting and renovation business. Gusto niya ng leads. Sasabihin mo, I provide free quote for ganto-ganto. For as low as 20 or for as low as $200, you can get your kitchen renovated. No, don't focus on the features lang. A proper copywriting, just these are the things that you could mention. Okay? Make sure na you mention na when I do copywriting, I always include value-based messaging, emotional triggers, and keyword use. Okay. Value-based messaging, emotional triggers, and keyword use. Bakit po? Kasi, yung ad copy mo should technically see what's the value if you click and hire this person. Yung emotional triggers is pain solution. Ano ba yung mga pain points? Ano ba yung mga issues na dahilan kung ba't nag-search si client? Pain and solution. Dapat may solution ka dun. So that's what you call emotional triggers. Yung parang, kung sa TikTok nagpunta ka, may mga sinasabi na, "Naku guys, wag mong bilhin tong kamerang to. Naku, kung ayaw nyo ng malinaw na camera during your podcast, wag nyo tong bilhin." Yung mga ganun. Emotional trigger, pain point solution. Then keyword use. Use the keywords na you're wanting to say kung ano yung ginawa mo sa search terms mo. Okay? Yun yung mga kailangan mong banggitin, yung approach. Always include the benefits plus proof if may reviews ka and may guide. And guys, since may AI na ngayon, always ask your interviewer, what's your take in using AI in generating ad copies? Kasi may mga client na okay sa kanila mag-AI pero kailangan edited mo talaga siya, hindi pwedeng AI din direct na agad. No, that's not possible kasi minsan si mga AI, alam agad ng tao kung AI siya or hindi. Always ask that when it comes to ad copywriting. For me, whenever someone asks me during an interview, what's my approach with ad copywriting? Since nag-SMM ako guys, ang sinasabi ko agad is, I always identify first what's the core pillars of your business. And doing the ads, what is the exact goal na meron tayo sa ads na to? Do we want to generate more leads? Do we want to generate more awareness? Para yung ad copy ko will basically be based on the goal and the pillars na we have identified. So yun ang lagi kong sinasabi sa ad copywriting. Kasi wala namang masama doon guys. Just don't be stubborn and stick with, no, gusto ko yung features lang. No, not like that. Eighth question. Actually, very technical na tong question na to. What is the difference between CPA and ROAS bidding? Okay. Technical na to guys ha. This is a question that they may not ask you during the interview, pero during the reporting they will definitely ask you this. Ano ba yung difference ng CPA and ROAS bidding? And it pays off if alam mo yung difference. So, ano ba yung CPA? Okay? CPA is cost per acquisition. So this is basically for lead gen, for service-based. Yung parang magkano ba ang binayad ko para makuha ang isang lead na to? Okay? Then yung lead na yun is i-close nila. So sa CPA guys, ang ginagawa ko lagi dyan is tinatanong ko, what's the LTV? What is the lifetime value of your lead? Pag may lead ka at na-close mo, ano yung lifetime value niya? When we say lifetime, gaano katagal ang average na nagsistay yung lead sa company mo? Like, let's say, how often they use your business. Siguro sa isang taon, they use your business, let's say, twice. And kada operation or kada gamit ng business mo, they would normally pay, let's say, $1,500. So sa dalawa, that's like $3,000. So that's the lifetime value. Normally, they don't stick with you the next year. So, ang tawag doon, lifetime value. So, ang lifetime value ng isang leads mo na na-close is like $3,000. Ngayon, how much are you willing to pay to get a lead na pwede mong i-close? And this is where the CPA goes. Sabihin niya, kung ang lead po will take, let's say, $100 per lead, okay na yun sa akin. Sasabihin niya, in a month kasi I get 10 leads. So kung $100 yon, that's like $1,000 spend nila in 1 month. So sa 10 yon, ilan yung naka-close nila? Let's say naka-close sila ng 5. 5 times 3,000 as lifetime value, that's 15,000. So nagbayad sila ng 1,000 for the 10 leads, they close 5, and meron silang lifetime value ng 15,000. So that's like 14,000 profit. Pero tatanggalin mo pa doon yung yung parang kung anong maintenance and tsetsaboretsa na gastos nila. Pero ang tinatanong lang dito is, how much are you willing to pay to get a lead for you to close? Okay? And this is very important for lead generation. Kasi may mga leads kasi na may take isang lead $500, tapos magsi-stay lang sa'yo ng isang taon, tapos 3,000, mga gano'n. So, that's the CPA. ROAS naman, guys, is return on ad spend. This is normally for e-commerce. Bakit? Kasi they don't need leads. What they need is revenue. So, for example, meron silang, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, meron, let's say, nag-spend sila ng $10,000. Let's say, nagbebenta sila ng mga bangka. $10,000 yung gastos nila sa isang buwan. At kumita sila ng, let's say, 200,000. So, that's 20x ROAS na, or return on ad spend. Kasi they spend 10,000 and kumita sila ng $200,000. So, dun mo to check to. Ngayon, if they ask you about that, the only thing that you'll have to say is CPA is for lead generation, because this is basically the cost for a lead that you acquired that you're willing to pay, and ROAS is for return on ad spend, meaning the actual profit that you made, remove the spend on the ads. So, always tie them on the business objective. And guys, normally, ang nagtatanong lang nito is agencies, kasi they will have multiple clients na minsan hindi siya lahat lead dyan, yung iba e-commerce. So, that's the thing. Pero pag ang kausap mo is e-commerce, then work more on the e-commerce side. Yun ang aralin mo. So, ninth question. Yung pang-9 na tayo. So, last two questions na tayo. Pang-9 is, how do you ensure accurate conversion tracking? Guys, importante ito. Kasi tinatanong dito, paano mo make sure na accurate yung conversion tracking mo? Remember, kapag nag-set up ka ng ads, after 2 weeks or 1 month, something will be discussed to you, kailangan i-explain sa'yo, ito yung nangyari, etc., ganyan-ganyan. So, kung wala kang accurate conversion tracking, paano mo yun check? So, ito. Ang pinakauna is, huwag kang magta-track ng conversion kapag nag-submit lang silang ng form. Huwag kang mag-rely sa last attribution, and don't set up doble-dobleng conversion. And I had this issue before. Tinanong ko pa yung client ko. Sabi ko, Sir, bakit yung Shopify natin nakalagay doon, we had a total of 90,000 revenue for this specific month. Pero nung chine-check ko, yung Meta and Google, nung pinag-combine ko, nasa 70 lang naman tayo. Bakit po? Ano po yung ano? Tapos hindi ko chinek kasi yung conversion tracking. Sa conversion tracking pala, naka-on yung Shopify purchase as conversion tracking, and naka-open din yung Google Shopping. So, dalawa. So, every time may magko-convert, dalawa siyang beses natatag. And sa Google lang to. Yung sa Meta kasi okay. Pero yung sa Google na doble. Kaya parang naging 90K imbes na 70K lang. So, parang sa ko hanapin yung ano? Sa ko hanapin yung 20K na nawawala? Yung mga ganun. So, always ensure na yung tracking mo, meron ka dapat isa lang na primary. Okay? Isang primary conversion, and yung conversion yun is depende sa objective ng business. If, for example, ang gusto lang naman nila is magkaroon ng appointment, then ang i-track mo lang is yung thank you page. Meaning, pag nakapag-set sila ng appointment, magpupunta sila sa thank you page, pag nandun na sila, technically that's a lead. Yun lang i-track mo. Huwag mong i-track yung nagpunta sila sa schedule, tapos hindi sila natuloy. Then trinack mo pa rin siya as leads. No. You can still track that, pero you can use that as a secondary data para malaman lang ni Google na, okay, madami naman pupunta sa scheduling page, pero hindi lang lahat nag-schedule ng complete. So, dun titingnan mo, is it an issue with your ad copy, with the offer, or with the service? So, make sure lang ha. And always, always test your tracking conversion using Tag Assistant. Okay? Pero for me guys, ang pinaka magandang explanation dito is only have one primary conversion, and you can have multiple secondary conversions for data capture lang. Pero dapat isa lang yung primary. And yes, what is the 10th question? Nasa 10th question na tayo guys, and I'm sorry, it took us forever. I had to make sure na I explain it properly. And yung questions na to guys, sa 10 question nito, at least 8 dito talaga lumabas siya lagi sa halos lahat ng aking interviews before. So I hope na this will help. But what's the 10th question? Ang pang 10 question is, what KPIs do you monitor? So tanongin kita, ikaw, as a Google Ads specialist, after checking the business of the owner, doing the ads, ano yung tingin mo ang pinaka magandang KPI ni i-monitor? I-comment niyo yan para ma-check ko, and before you go through this video, comment niyo muna para malaman natin if are you thinking ahead, or are you thinking like ito lang yung gusto ko, etc. Okay na? Okay. So, sa KPIs, it really depends. Okay? It depends kung anong klaseng campaign yung gusto ng client mo and ano yung goal. Kasi may mga campaign tayo na awareness, may mga campaign tayo for sales, and may mga campaign tayo for lead generation. But for me, we do have what you call vanity metrics and actual metrics. So ano nga ba yung vanity metrics? So yung vanity metrics, parang vanity, parang kinaganda mo lang. Alam mo yung sinasabi ng beauty but no brains, maganda lang pero walang substance. Parang ganun yun. Vanity metrics, maganda siya sa papel pero hindi naman talaga siya nag-reflect ng impact o ng performance sa business mo. Katulad ng impression. Uy, ang taas na impression ko, umabot ako ng 30,000 impression. Ibig sabihin, ang dami ng tao nakakita ng ads ko. Ang ganda niya, yes. Pero ang tanong, ilan yung nag-click at ilan yung nag-convert? Kung wala naman nag-click, ibig sabihin, nakita lang nila pero nag-swipe up sila or nag-swipe down. So, vanity metrics yun. Another is clicks. Meron tayong CTR. CTR, yung click-through rate, maganda kung mataas siya, pero it doesn't really guarantee revenue. Kasi pag click-through rate kasi, for me, ginagamit ko lang yung click-through rate kapag okay. So, madaming nagki-click. This means the ads na I presented are clickable and merong dating. Pero bakit hindi nagko-convert? So, dito, kailangan mo ng ibang tools dito para ma-check mo saan sila nagpo-fall through, saan sila nalalaglag during conversion. Nag-add to cart lang ba yan? Or nandun lang sila sa schedule tapos umaalis na? Was it the landing page? Is it the website that's very slow? Was the offer really incorrect or not enticing? Mga ganon. So, pag tanong ka, what KPIs do you monitor? Don't mention this stuff. Yung impression, yung clicks, etc. What you really have to mention is, I go for lead generation, I always look at the conversion rate. Ano ba yung leads ko? Ano yung conversion rate ko? For e-com, ano ba yung ROAS ko? So, ano ba yung kantanggap-tanggap? Kasi pag nag-compute ka ng ROAS, guys, you have to make sure na meron kayong um, basic amount, tapos ano yung profit margin, mga etc. Ano ba yung ROAS mo doon? Na-reach mo ba siya? And if you're talking about brand awareness, then that's gonna be the time na you'll talk about impressions and CTR. So during the interview naman, before or even before the interview, as long as you do your research on the company na that you're trying to get into, alam mo na agad bakit ba kailangan nila. Minsan naman kung sa OLJ nga nakalagay na mismo sa OLJ yung part na we want more business, we want more leads, we want more sales. So doon pa lang, yun ang banggitin mo. Ano ba yung mga KPI na monitor mo para ma-reach nila yung goal nila? Kasi you can still mention impression clicks if they only wanted let's say engagement, followers, etc. So again guys, walang tamang sagot sa KPI. It just really depends on the objective na na-identify mo on their job description na hinihingi. But always work with ano ba yung result? Ano ba yung mag-bring ng performance and impact sa business? So, yun lang naman guys. Yun yung top 10 questions na meron tayo. Again, ano may mga questions natin? First is, tell me about your experience with Google Ads. Second question is, how do you structure a high performing Google Ads campaign? This is focused on structure. Third is how do you determine bidding strategy? Fourth is walking them through how you optimize a campaign. Fifth is what are the main components of quality score. Sixth is how do you scale a well-performing campaign? So scalability. Seventh is what's your approach to ad copywriting. Eight is difference between CPA and ROAS bidding. Number nine is how do you ensure accurate conversion tracking? And number 10 is what KPIs do you monitor? Again, guys, these top 10 questions are questions I compiled based from my experience. So take it with a grain of salt. It may not or it may show sa interview mo. Again, it still depends on you po. Okay? Before the interview, get yourself ready, get yourself resonated what exact job description you're applying for. Gumamit ka ng AI, gumamit ka ng Reddit, gumamit ka ng kung ano-anong forum to check the FAQs that may show up there. Pero guys, regardless if alam mo yung FAQs or top 10 FAQs, it still boils down to your expertise. Alam mo ba talaga ginagawa mo? Kasi regardless if ready ka, makapasa ka man sa interview, kung hindi mo talaga alam yung ginagawa mo, then during the work, nga ka po doon. And kawawa naman yung business owner if ang galing-galing mo sa interview pero wala ka namang alam. So always make sure na you check your knowledge first. Yung interview po kasi guys, okay po yan if meron ka na talagang knowledge. Now, if you're a beginner, that's also fine. Just make sure you mention it to the client. Kasi even though you're a beginner, if you know what you're talking about, that means knowledge-wise, you already have what it takes. A lot of business owners naman, they do give chances to freelancers or people talaga na walang experience as long as you know exactly what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, Google Ads is a paid ads type of work. Okay? Si customer, magbabayad talaga ng pera yan for the ads. Mag-spend ng pera and syempre dapat may ROI sila doon. So yun lang naman guys. I will put the questions that I have just mentioned sa description nito. Also, I have a document about the do's and don'ts. If you think na importante to, just mention that on your, put that in the comments. Pag nakakita ko ng comments, then I'll add it. If I don't see a comment, that means there's no need for me to add this sa description. Also, the file actually includes scenario-based, pero we don't have time to do scenario-based anymore. But yes, if you're interested and if you think na it's helpful if I put the do's and don'ts in the top 10 questions in the description, kindly comment, like this video, and subscribe para naman mas madami pa tayong ma-reach na freelancers na gusto matuto ng Google Ads. Again, this is again your She Arola. It's been nice talking to you again today. Have a great day and stay safe.